I'm far too friendly for your lordships, really. And she made the point, of course, about security and the environment being linked. And we see this in almost every area. You know, there are places in the world who've been growing up pineapples, growing up bananas. They won't be able to grow them in the future. They will have droughts. They will have all sorts of intemperate weather. And this means that they will be under threat and they will be potentially moving around. We cannot divorce these things. In fact, you can't divorce any topic from the environment. The Noble Duke of Wellington, I didn't quite pick up what he was saying, but I think he was supporting us, and I thank him for that. If I got that wrong, he can see me afterwards. And the Noble Lady Baroness Young of Old Scone, of course, I always am grateful for her support. Now, the Noble Lady Baroness Neville Rolfe, yes, of course, there will be things we can't do because of the precautionary principle. And it goes for the Noble Lord the Earl of Caithness as well. If it's bad for the environment, it's probably not a good idea to do it. There's lots of other areas for innovation that we can use. And Greens love innovation. We love using technology where it fits, if it fits all the criteria that we're talking about in terms of the well-being of humanity and the well-being of the planet. The Noble Lord Viscount Trenchard, well, I didn't agree with anything he said, really, but obviously that is the norm. I thank Baroness Quinn. That was a very calm exposition, agreeing with 73 and 76, and I think that's very valuable. And of course, it's always fantastic to have the Noble Lord Krebs support on anything. And he did point out that this was meant to be a non-regression bill. And quite honestly, when the Noble Lord the Minister said, "Oh, this isn't a non-regression bill," I choked. I started coughing because it's so patently not true. The Noble Lady Baroness Hayman, she sounds so reasonable. I do wish I had some of her reasonableness. And at the same time, she's very tough, and that is fantastic. Now, the Noble Lord the Minister, on his sort of dismissal of this list, he talked about the current list of principles is based on case law and so on. That's because the government's lost so many cases already, because the government doesn't understand environmental principles. So, in fact, the stronger the basket, the stronger the structure that we can have around every single department of the government, the better it will be for all of us. And I'm sure we're going to fight over that many, many times. And the exclusions of the Ministry of Defence and the Treasury, necessary for agility? I don't think so. That sounds like the sort of argument that can be easily dismissed. And I'd be interested to see where he got that from. It doesn't risk confusion if we have more. In fact, it clarifies things if we have better principles, clearer principles. And so I would argue that the amendments that are in this group are absolutely vital, and I think the government is going to have quite a tough job to convince us otherwise.